ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां
सदाशिवसमारम्भां
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां
वन्दे
वन्दे
गुरुपरम्पराम्।
गुरुपरम्पराम्
ॐ
ॐ
सहना भवतु
सहनावतु
सहनौ
सह
भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं
सह वीर्यं
कर्वावहै
करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा
विद्विषावहै।
विद्विषावहै।
ॐ
ॐ
शान्ति
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 शान्तिः।
शान्तिः।
हरि ओम्. So, in the last session, we completed the fourth section, the fourth Brahmanam, and it was called Purusha Vida Brahmanam. So, it's called Purusha Vida. Why? Because in the first mantra of that Brahmanam, 141, you will find the word Purusha Vida. What does Purusha Vida mean? After all, the Brahmanam is over. Anybody? What does Vida mean?
Knowing.
Sorry?
Knowing. The one who knows.
It can be taken as in the form of.
Mm-hmm.
So Purusha Vidaha, the one who is in the form of the Purushaha. And who is that?
The self Atman.
Atman, Prajapati, Brahman, whatever. Okay. So now let us look at the next Brahmanam, the Panchamam Brahmanam. It has got a name. It's called the Saptanna Brahmanam. So we will chant. Yat Saptanni Medhaya
Yat saptani
Yat
Tapasa Janayat Pita
tapasa janayat pita
Ekamasya Sadharanam
ekamasya sadharanam
Dve Devan Bhajayat
dve devan bhajayat
Trini Atmane Akurat
Trinyatmane
kurta
Pashubhya Ekam Prayachat
pashubhya ekam prayachat
Tasmin Sarvam Pratishtham
tasmin sarvam pratishtham
Sorry, Pratitishtham Tasmin Sarvam Pratitishtham
tasmin sarvam pratishtham
Yacha Praniti Yachana
yacha praniti yachana
Kasmat Tani Nasiyante
tasmatani
Adhyamanani Sarvada
adyamani sarvada
Yo Vaitam Akshitim
yo vaitam akshitim
Vedaso Annamati
vedaso annamati
Pratikena
pratikena
Sadevan Api Gacchati
Sadevanapि gacchati
Sa Urjvam Upajivati
ऊर्जमुपजीवति
Iti Shlokaha.
Shlokaha
So in this Brahmanam also, there are two main topics. In the last Brahmanam, there were two main topics. One was Adhyasa, Adhyaropa, and one was Anupravesha Vakya. Okay. So here we have two main topics. One is Jiva Shrishti and one is Jiva Bhoktritvam, the status of being a Bhokta for the Jiva. So one is Jiva Shrishti and one is Jiva Bhoktritvam. So if you remember the discussions in the previous Brahmanam, Prajapati was the Srishtikarta, right? And therefore, what is Srishtikarta? The creator of the Srishti. And therefore, the Srishti was what kind of Srishti? Ishvara Srishti. the one created by Ishvara. Now here we are saying it is Jiva Shrishti, right? So the creation here in this Brahmanam is being looked upon as Jiva Shrishti, the one created by the Jiva, not by Ishvara. Right? In the previous Brahmanam, we saw that Jiva was taken as Pashuhu, that is the Bhogya Vastu, the object of experience for others, for everybody, for Devanam, etc. etc. So, in the previous Brahmanam, Jiva was the object of experience, the Bhogyam. But in this Brahmanam, we are going to see Jiva as the Bhokta. And therefore, Jivasya Bhoktratvam, the Bhokta status of the Jiva. Right? So, Jiva as the Shrishtikarta and Jiva as the Bhokta. These are the two main topics. When you say that Jiva is the creator of the world, of the universe, what does it mean?
A subjective universe, a dream.
No, we are talking about the Prapancha, the creation, the Vyavaharika Prapancha. In the last Brahmanam, we said that Ishvara is the creator of the Vyavaharika Prapancha. We are not talking about Swapna Prapancha over here. Not talking about Pratibhasika Prapancha. We're talking about the Vyavaharika Prapancha itself. And when you say Jiva is the Srishtikarta, we are saying that Jiva created this Srishti for his own bhoga, for his own experience, for experiencing the Srishti. And this Jiva Srishti, the Prapancha, the universe, is divided into 7. So it's called the Sapta Bhogatmaka Prapanchaha. That universe which has 7 divisions, in the nature of 7 divisions or 7 classifications. And the Bhogya Vastu is called Annam. Right? So note that Annam is from the has a general meaning of Bhogya Vastu. Right? Anubhuyate iti Annam. That which is experienced is called Annam. And from the Dhatu Patha point of view, the word Bhogya itself comes from the Dhatu Bhuj, Bhuj Bhakshane. If you see Dhatu Patha, you will see it as Bhuj Bhakshane, means to enjoy or to consume or to partake. Therefore, every Bhogya Padhartha, every object of Bhogyam, of experience, is called Annam. And we are saying here that the universe consists of Sapta Annani, means Sapta Bhogya Padhartha, 7 objects of experience or 7 fields of experience. And when you say that Jiva is the Srishtikarta, what exactly are you meaning? This is not a new idea. We have seen this in Bhagavad Gita also. How does he become the Srishtikarta? Because he is limited, right?
Acharya with his karma.
With his karma. So remember here when you say Jiva, you are talking about collective Jivas. Because one Jiva through his own karma and upasana cannot create the world. So the entire Jivas together with their karmas and upasanas, what is the logic? That all the karmas, all the karma phalam has to be experienced. And therefore, it is the main idea is the karma and the karma phalam, upasana phalam. That is the karta, that is the creator of the whole world. Right. And therefore, the idea is that the world has been created for Ajnani Jivas only. Right. And so a lot of people ask this question, why does Ishvara create the world? Right? Ishvara is Purnam. What is his problem? Why did he go around creating this world? So the answer is what? Ishvara has not created the world. The logical answer is because Ishvara is Purnam, there is no reason for him to do any karma. And therefore, when we say Ishvara has created the world, we have to understand this as We, the jivas, have collectively created the world through our own karma and upasana. Right? Because if everybody was a jivan mukta, then they don't need a bhogya prapancha. For the ajnani is what? For the jnani is akarta abhokta. And therefore, there is no reason for him to experience the bhogya prapancha. So this is the idea being conveyed in this section. And this whole idea is condensed in the first mantra. This is called the Sutra Bhuta Mantra. The mantra which is in the nature of a summary. Sutra Bhuta Mantra. So after the Sutra Bhuta Mantra, you will find the detailed explanation. Vyakhyanam. Right? So let's look at the gist first. So it says, if you look at the words, Yat Saptannani Medhaya Tapasa Janayati Pita. Yat Sapta Annani Medhaya Tapasa Ajanayata Pita. So the Sapt Annani were created by the Jiva. Who is the Pita? Here Pita means creator. He is the Srishtikarta through what? Medhaya Tapasa. So Jiva has created the sevenfold universe. And Shruti says that Jiva is the Pita. So Ajnani Jiva is the Pita. Here Tapasa means karma, not meditation. And Medhaya means upasana. So that you should remember. Medhaya is upasana, Tapasa is karma. Both have karma phalam. And therefore, through these both, Medhaya, Tapasa, Sapta Annani Janayati. Janayat. Or you can say Ajanayata, whichever. Right? Because Pita is there. So Sapta Annani Ajanayata Pita. The Jiva created the universe of sevenfold Annams. 7 types of Annams. What is Annam? Annam is that which is consumed, experienced. That is the meaning of Annam. So what are these 7 Annams? So there is something called Sadharanam Annam. Ordinary Annam. What is ordinary Annam? That is the one which we really, in our everyday life, we call Annam. The regular food, grains, vegetables, dal, all these things. And it's called Sadharanam because that is the Annam which is common to all jivas, whether it be a Manushya, whether it be a bird, whether it be a tree, some sort of Annam is common to all. Right? And therefore it's called Sadharanam Annam. Then there are 2 more Annams which are in the form of Ahuti, oblations to the Devas. So this we will see later. So first one is Sadharanam Annam. Second and third are in the nature of oblations, Ahuti to Devas. The fourth one is Pashubhya, Annam for animals. And this is supposed to be milk, since all animals require milk at the time of birth. And the last 3, the 5th one is called Manaha, the 6th one is called Vak, the 7th one is called Pranaha. And these are all in the form of your own sense organs created for you to interact with the universe for your bhogyam. Unless you have sense organs, you can't enjoy the universe. You can't have experiences. Therefore, they are also called Annam, Manaha, Vak and Pranaha. Then if you look at the Anyesham Viniyogartham is the first 4. So Viniyogam means what? Distribution. And Viniyogartham means for the purpose of distribution or offering. Therefore, the first 4, which is what? Sadharanannam, the 2 ahutis and the Pashubhyanam. These are meant for offering to others. And the last 3 are for your own enjoyment. Right? The last 3 are what? Manaha, Vakaha, Prana, which are your own indriyas. These are meant for your own enjoyment. And Shankara gives these specific names. He says the first 4 you can call as sadhana annam or sadhana annani, is plural. And the last 3 you can call as sadhya annani or sadhya annam. Annam is actually wrong because It is plural. It should be sadhya annani. And why are the last three called sadhya annani? Because mana, vak and prana, they are indriyas and you are using them as a tool for your enjoyment by interacting with the world. Therefore, that's called sadhya. Right? And we all depend upon the type of the annam. Viniyogaha. This is the, we do whatever you do to the world, viniyoga, this giving is called a sadhana. In other words, whatever you give is what you get back. What karma you do, the karma phalam is what you get back. And therefore, if I don't have a calm and peaceful mind, it means that I have not done the appropriate karma, deva annam, pashu annam, etc. in the previous janmas. This is all discussed here. And one more point is discussed. What is the cause for the continuation of this universe? And we said the universe is sapta bhogaha, sapta annani, right? So what is the cause for the continuation of this universe in the form of 7 bhoga padarthas, 7 objects of enjoyment? And Shruti says that jiva alone is the primary cause for the universe continuing. Because when jiva is uh, whenever jiva is enjoying, whenever he is a bhokta, he also becomes a karta. Therefore, in this very life, he is doing the karma, and the karma phalam for that will become the cause of the next janma. Right? That is why, if you remember in Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter, Krishna says, Bhuta bhavot bhavakaraha visargaha karma sangitaha. Right? Karma is that which produces all the jivas. This is where we saw this idea earlier. Bhuta bhavot bhavakaraha visargaha karma sangitaha. With your own karma, you are producing all the next lives. So, in fact, you are the creator of your mother, your brother, your sister, your husband, your future life, your children, etc. etc. Everything is, who is the creator? You are the creator. In this janma and through previous janmas also. And through previous janmas and in the next janma also. How? Through previous karma and present karma. And therefore, the idea is that whatever I am undergoing is the result of my karma. There is no point having any resentment. I can do whatever is possible to mitigate the circumstances, to mitigate my suffering. But I should not be resenting it, because it is not Ishvara who has given me this. It is I alone through my previous karma. Therefore, Jivaha is not only responsible for this current Srishti, for the past Srishti, but also for the continuance, the perpetuation of the Srishti also, Jiva is responsible. Right? So in the social media terms, the Jiva is the actual producer and director of the Srishti. Who is Ishvara? He is only the Jiva's assistant. So Jiva is the producer director. Ishvara is the assistant to the producer director. He just does what the karma demands. Then Shruti says that a person can choose to do upasana upon Hiranyagarbha or upon Virat as this concept, as the Sapta Annam concept. And if he does that, the phalam will be that he gets Hiranyagarbha Padam, that he becomes one with Hiranyagarbha. This is the summary of the whole section so far. So before we get into it, any questions? This is just the gist. So we will go into it in great detail.
Yeah, can I ask one question?
Please.
Or rather a point, rather than a question, that Ishvara can be interpreted as the provider of the infrastructure for us, the Jiva, to interact, perform our karma, and creating a Srishti.
Yeah, it's something like you going to a tailor and having a suit made,
Yeah,
So, and then what do you say? I had this suit made. You
yeah,
sort of quietly drop tailor out of the equation, don't you?
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
same thing. So the karma is the one
yeah,
which is making the Srishti. Ishvara is the
yeah,
assistant, the tailor. But you don't give
yeah.
credit to him because he's only the person who's doing what he's told to do.
Right.
Or
Okay.
circumstances
Thank you.
demand that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now the Vyakhyanam. So I thought I would take this opportunity to slightly, delve into the root words, because especially in this Upanishad, it will make a lot of sense if we understand what are the dhatus, the root words for our words which we are using. As you know, in Sanskrit, unlike in most languages, every word in Sanskrit can be traced to one dhatu, one root word. There are roughly 2000 dhatus in the Dhatu Pathaha, that particular book, right? And take any root, any dhatu, and you can add some suffix or prefix and create new words. So the lakhs of words in Sanskrit owe their basic existence only to 2000 odd dhatus. Now we're looking at the Vyakhyanam. So if you look at the Dhatu Pata, you will find it written as Kya. The dhatu is Kya. And it will be written as Kya Prakashanayoho. To shine, to make shown, to make known. That is called Prakashana. Prakashanayoho, to shine, or to make known, or to make you see it. That is the meaning of the word Kya. You add suffixes to it, V and A. Both the suffixes or the prefixes V and A, they convey the meaning of distinctly and completely. Therefore, Vyakhyanam means a distinct and completely making known. Right? In fact, this Amarakosha, it's a Sanskrit dictionary. It defines Vyakhyanam as Vyakhyanam Nama Vistarena Kathanam. Vistarena Kathanam means explanation in very great detail. That is called Vyakhyanam. Vyakhyanam Nama. So that will begin from the next mantra, for the mantra number 2. So we will read that mantra. 152. Yat saptannani medhaya tapasa.
Yat
Yat
सप्तातानि
sapta
मेधया तपसा
Yat saptannani medhaya tapasa.
Yat
yat
सप्तानानि मेधया
medhaya
तपसा
Ajanayat pita.
अजनयत्
ah,
पिता
Iti medhaya hi tapasa ajanayat pita.
iti
इति
me
मेधया हि तपसा जनयत्
ah,
पिता
Ekamasya sadharanamiti.
एकमस्य साधारणमिति
pranamiti
Idamevasya tat sadharanamannam.
idame
इदमेव
तस्य तत्
saranam
साधारणमन्नम्
Yadidam adhyate.
यदिदमद्यते
यदिदमद्यते
Sayat saya etad upaste.
स य
स य
एतदुपासते
एतदुपासते
Nasa papmano vyavartate.
न स
न
पापकर्मणि
स पापकर्मणि
व्यावर्तते
व्यावर्ते
Mishram hetat.
मिश्रं
Vishram
मिश्रमेतत्
Dve devan bhajayaditi. Dve devan bhajayat iti.
द्वे देवा
द्वे
ते
देवा
भाजयते
जयन्ति
इति
Utam cha prahutam.
उतं च
तं च
प्रवृत्तं
प्रवृत्तं
Cha tasma devebhyo juhati.
तस्मात्
तस्मात्
देवेभ्यो
देवेभ्यो
जुह्वति
जुह्वति
Cha pracha.
च प्रच
च
Juhati atho ahu.
जुह्वति
जुह्वति अथो
अथो
आहुः
आहुः
दर्शपूर्णमासाविति
दर्शपूर्णमासाविति
तस्मान्न इष्ठयाजुकः
तस्मान्न याजकः
तस्मान्न इष्टियाजुकः स्यात्
तस्मान्न याजकः स्यात्
पशुभ्य एकम्
पशुभ्य एकम्
प्रायच्छद्दिति तत्पयः
प्रायच्छत् इति तत्पयः
पयो हेवाग्रे
पयोहेवाग्रे
मनुष्याश्च पशवाश्च
मनुष्याश्च पशवश्च
उपजीवन्ति तस्मात् कुमारम्
उपजीवन्ति तस्मात् कुमारम्
जातं घृतं
जातं घृतम्
वैवाग्रे
वैवाग्रे
प्रतिलेहयन्ति सत्स्तनम्
प्रतिलेपयन्ति स्तनम्
वा अनुधापयन्ति
वानुधापयन्ति
अथ वत्सम्
अथ वत्सम्
जातमाहुः
जातमाहुः
अतृणादि इति
अतृणादिति
तस्मिन् सर्वं प्रतिष्ठम्
तस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठितम्
तस्मिन् सर्वं प्रतिष्ठम्
प्रतिष्ठितम्
यच्छ प्राणीति
यच्छप्राणीति
यच्छनेति
यच्छनेति
पयसि हीदं सर्वं
पयसि हीदं सर्वम्
प्रतिष्ठम्
प्रतिष्ठितम्
यच्च प्राणीति यच्छन
यच्छप्राणीति यच्छन
Okay, where were we? Yaccha praniti yachana
यच्छप्राणीति यच्छन
tadde idam ahu
तद्य इदम् आहुः
samvatsaram payasa juhata
संवत्सरं पयसा
apapunarmrityum jayatiti
अपमृत्युं जयति
na tatha vidyat
न तथा विद्यात्
yad ahareva juhoti
यद् अहरेव जुहोति
तदः पुनः मृत्युमुपजायति
ततः पुनर्मृत्युमुपजायति
एवं विद्वान् सर्वं हि देवेभ्यः
देवेभ्यः
अन्नाद्यं प्रयच्छति
अन्नाद्यं प्रयच्छति
कस्मात् तानि न क्षीयन्ते
कस्मात् तानि न क्षीयन्ते
अध्यमानानि सर्वदा
अध्यमानानि सर्वदा
इति पुरुषो वा अक्षीतिः
इति पुरुषो वाक्षीतिः
सहीदम् अन्नं पुनः पुनर्जनयते
पुनः जनयते
यो वैतां क्षतिं वेद
यो वैतां क्षितिं वेद
इति पुरुषो वा अक्षीतिः
इति पुरुषो वाक्षीतिः
सहीदम् अन्नं धिया धिया जनयते
जनयते
कर्मभिः यद्धैतन्न कुर्यात् क्षीयते हसो अन्नमत्ति
कुर्यात्
श्रीयते
हस्तोऽन्नमिति
अतिकेन इति मुखं प्रतीकम्
प्रतीकेन इति
इति मुखं प्रतीकम्
मुखे नेत्येतत्
एतत्
स देवानपि गच्छति
सदेवानपि गच्छति
स ऊर्जम् उपजीवतीति प्रशंसा
ऊर्जमुपजीवति प्रशंसा
So this is not really a Vedantic portion. And so let's not look at the word by word meanings. We look at the summary, right? So first the annam is talked about, right? And we will take it up to saya etad upaste nasa papmano vyavartate mishram hetat. Vyavartate mishram hetat. That is the first portion. So annam is being talked about. And it is said that Jiva alone creates the first annam through the upasana and his karma. And then he creates food for the entire Srishti. So Sadharana Annam, the first one. He creates the food for the entire Srishti. And the Shruti uses the word Sadharanam Annam. So one more thing I need to say, that in this portion, there is a main topic and there are any number of deviations from that topic, right? So our attention needs to be focused carefully, otherwise we'll get confused. So here Upanishad says that since the first created Annam is Sadharanam, it is the Sadharanam means what? General. It is the universal Annam, Annam for everybody. And therefore Annam should never be eaten without sharing with other people. Right? So this is a very crucial part of, it's non-Vedantic, but a crucial part of our culture, that you always share when you eat. Don't eat alone. Right? And where is this coming in? Though that's the problem. The word is etat upaste. So etat upaste normally means what? One who does upasana in this manner. Okay. But here the word upaste has a very peculiar meaning. It says it means consumes without sharing. Right? That you must remember. In this particular mantra, in this particular portion, etat upaste doesn't mean who worships in this manner or meditates in this manner. It means who consumes without sharing. This etad, this annam, he consumes without sharing. Right? So that is the meaning of the word etat upaste. What will happen to him? Na papmano vyavartate. He will never get rid of his papams. So if a person eats annam alone, he will never get rid of papams. We saw this idea in Bhagavad Gita also. Where was that? Anybody remembers?
Stena, that verse with stena as a thief.
Yeah, yo
If a
bhunte
person,
stena eva saha. That person
right.
who does without sharing is nothing more than a thief. So he will get papa. Right? Then it says Devan bhajayat iti huttam cha prahuttam cha tasmat devebhyah juhati cha pra cha juhati atho ahuhu darshapurna masaviti tasmanna ishtiyajaka syat. This is the line we are now discussing. This is second annam, second and third annam. So we said there are second and third annams are what? Both are oblations to devas, or oblations to devatas. And here itself, the Upanishad introduces two different ideas. It says Huttam cha Prahuttam. Right. So Huttam, where have you heard the word Huttam?
in Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahman.
Very good. Brahma. So Huttam is what? That which you put in the fire. The Ahuti, which you put in the Agni, that is called Huttam. Right? And after the Ahuti is over, after Huttam has been put into the Agni, then there's a Prahuttam. Prahuttam is literally means the prasadam. Right? So what do you do in a ritual? You offer things to the fire. Right? Let us say you're offering 20 fruits on a plate. You offer it to the fire. Literally speaking, you don't put it in the fire, right? But it's offering. It's a Huttam. It's a Ahuti. And when the ritual is over, that same fruits, they become the prasadam. So that is the prahuttam. Right? Interestingly, to understand these words, you must look at the etymology. Vyutpatti, as we call it in Sanskrit. Right? There is both have the same dhatu, hu dhatu. Hu dhatu means in the dhatu pata you will find it as hu dana adana yo, offering oblations, right? So the word huttam comes from the dhatu hu, and the word pra is in the sense of prakashena, in the sense of completely. So meaning that which has been completely offered. And therefore, when you extract the meaning, you have to take it as what is the remaining portion after you have offered. That is what is not consumed by Agni Devata, but returned to you as prasadam. What happens to that? That is distributed and eaten, and therefore completely offered. Nothing remains of the offering. Am I making sense? The difference between Huttam and Prahutam.
Sir, what
Yeah.
do we mean by nothing remains of the offering? Means whatever is to be
You have
offered.
consumed it. Whatever
Okay.
the fruits are
Okay. Okay.
left has been consumed
Right.
by the
Right.
devotees. So nothing remains of it.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So Prahutam. Prahutam is literally the prasadam. And therefore, in any ritual, he uses two words, Huttam and Prahutam. And then, of course, there are commentators who say that this is all mandated by Smriti. So they call it Smarta Karma. All these ideas are mandated by Smriti. And then the Upanishad itself gives two more words, as you can see, Darsha and Purna Masaha. So Darsha Ahuti. Darsha Ahuti is what? It's a oblation which you offer, which is connected with the Amavasya. What is Amavasya? Come on.
Moon. No moon.
The moon, right?
Darkness.
So that is the oblation done on the date when there is no moon. And therefore, what is Purnamasa?
Full.
Full moon.
Full moon. So oblation
Paurnima.
connected with Paurnami. Right? So these are two words, Darshaha and Purnamasaha. You don't have to remember any words. If you understand the logic, you automatically know what they come under. Now, why are we talking about this? Because commentators have said that this Huttam Prahutam, this is Martha Karma, mandated by Smritis, not by Shruti. While Darsha and Purnamasaha are Shrauta Karma, mandated by Shrutis. Between the two, which is more powerful?
Shraut.
Shrauta Karma. Obviously, because anything mandated by Shruti is always considered the most powerful. Right? Therefore, he says, Shankara writes in his commentary that out of the two, the Shrauta Karma is the more powerful, and then therefore you should take Darsham and Purnamasaha as the second and third Annam. So the first Annam is the regular Sadharanam Annam, the second Annam is Darsha Purnamasa Annam, and Darsha Masa Annam, and the third one is Purnamasa Annam. So these two, Darsha Annam, Darshamasa Annam and Purnamasa Annam, these are offered to Devatas as oblations. Right? And then we are still in this line only. Ishti yajuka nasyat. Ishti yajukaha. Do not do it as something ishtaha, karma, as a kamya karma. Ishtaha means something which you like, from which you want some result. Therefore, ishti yajukanna syat. Shankara comments, don't do these karmas as kamya karma. Remember, you can do both. Any karma can be kamya karma. But he says, don't do that. Therefore, when Darsha Purnamasa karma is done, Darsha Masa karma and Purnamasa karma is done, which means the oblations are made to the Lord, you should not ask for anything in return. It should be Nishkama Puja. You offer the oblations without seeking any uh, fruit in return, any blessing in return. Okay. Now we look at the next portion. Starting from Pashubhya Eka Prayachad iti tatpayaha, going up to Tasmin Sarvam Pratishtitam Yacha Praniti Yacha Neti Payasi Hidam Sarvam Pratishtitam Yacha Praniti Yachana. That portion we will take up now. I'm taking it up in bits because it's very heavy. So Pashubhya Ekam Prayachad iti. This is a quote from the previous mantra where it was said that the fourth annam is Pashu annam. And now what is the Pashu annam? The Upanishad says here, Pashu annam is Tat Payaha. What is Payaha?
Milk. A liquid.
Paya, Paya is milk, Dud, right? So, Payo Heva Agre Manusyascha Pashavascha Upajivanti. The Manusyaha and the Pashu, animals as well as human beings, survive, live on Payo. Payo is the food for all the living beings. So all the animals here include the human beings, right? So remember that Manusya is also Pashu only, ultimately. Of course, in the case of Manusya, not only immediately after birth they take milk, but even now I am taking milk, okay, which doesn't happen in the case of animals. They take milk only when they need it. It is only people like us who keep on drinking milk and curd and butter and cheese. Okay. Then he says dhritam. What is dhritam?
Ghee.
Samisya, milk products like butter and ghee. Right? And agree in the beginning. Therefore, in the beginning only, the milk and milk products become the food of all. And therefore he says, Payasi hidam sarvam pratishtitam. All food has the pratishtha, the base, as milk alone. Very, subtle statement. Any food that you think of, any annam that you think of, has its basis in milk alone. Okay. Now Shankaracharya gives a little more explanation. He says milk is an important thing. When you say sarvam pratishtam, you are saying that milk is the most important thing. Why is it most important? Shankara says because milk is used in the Agnihotram ritual. And the Agnihotram ritual is a Nitya karma for all Vedikas. And other karmas, they require ghee and all that. Ghee and butter and water, which are all products of milk only. But it is only Agnihotram which requires only the milk. And therefore, human growth is of course based on milk. Is extracting. From that alone, for all karmas, you require milk. And therefore, not only that, the whole world is based on karma. And for any karma, you require milk. Therefore, the world is based on karma only. And therefore, this very funny statement, Payasi hidam sarvam pratidishtam. The whole world, pratishtitam, the whole world has the milk as the substratum, is based on milk alone. Now, what is the phalam? Supposing a person meditates on this idea. What idea? Payasi hidam sarvam pratishtitam. Supposing you base your meditation on this idea, the whole world is nothing but milk. and offer the oblations. So Agnihotram karma you do, you will get higher phalam. But if you do this meditation also, dhyanam, you should do Agnihotra karma. At the same time, the meditation should be that I'm offering milk and the whole world is nothing but milk. And therefore, what am I offering? I'm offering the whole universe as the oblation. And this converts the Agnihotra karma into a very, very powerful karma. And therefore, up punarmrityum jayati. As a result of that, he will, punarmrityum jayati means what? He will conquer further births or further deaths. Punaha mrityum jayati. He will conquer death. How should you understand that? Agnihotram karma, does it give you moksha?
No.
Then why is it said Punar Mrityum Jayati? He will conquer further deaths. He will have no more further deaths.
Talking of the relative,
Relative.
the
Relative.
apekshika,
Right. So he's talking about what we call as Apekshika Amritva.
Not Atyanta.
Apekshika Amritva means relative immortality. Which means what? You, let us say, go to Brahmaloka and then you hang around there till Brahmaloka perishes. Brahmaloka also perishes, right? So that way, that's called Apekshika Amritvatvam. Apekshika Nityam. Not permanent Nityam, Apekshika Nityam. Relative immortality. Then Tad Idam Ahu Samvatsaram Payasa Juhvata. So if you do Agnihotra Karma for Samvatsaram, for 1 year, then it is said that for 1 year you do meditation upon that Prajapati who is Samvatsara Prajapati. Right? He is the creator of the time itself, Samvatsaram. And this person, he conquers death. Okay, this particular line is being said by a Purva Pakshi. Tad idamahu samvatsaram payasa johata. Supposing I say that by meditating upon this Prajapati for 1 year, you conquer death. Right? So he says, Upanishad says this Agnihotra karma is very powerful. And that if one does this upasana, then he will get apekshika amritat. He'll get amrit. This fellow is saying that he will get moksha. But our answer is what? No. If you do karma plus upasana, you will get apekshika moksha, that is relative amritatvam, but you will not get permanent amritatvam. Okay. Now we look at the balance part of the mantra, which starts from kasmat tani nashiyante adhyamanani sarvada, etc. And it goes up to sadevan api gacchati sa urjam upajivati iti prashamsa. This is the last part of this particular mantra. So we have talked about the 4 annams, the 4 sadhanas, 4 sadhana annams, so to say. Right. Now we will talk about the 3 sadhyam annams. You remember we said the universe has 7 classifications. The first 4 are offered to others, so they are the sadhanas. The last 3 are for yourself, which you do the experience of, so they are the sadhyams. But before going to this sadhya annams, comes a discussion on the bhogya prapancha, on the world of experience. What is the discussion? So he says, kasmat tani nasiyante. Tani is that universe, that bhogya prapancha. Kasmat nasiyante. Why does that bhogya prapancha never go away? Why does it perpetually continue? And the answer is Purushaha va akshitihi. Jiva alone. The Purusha here means Jiva. Jiva alone is responsible for the perpetuation of the Bhogya Prapancha. How? Dhiya dhiya janayate karma bihi. Because he goes on doing karma. Had he not gone on doing karma, there would not have been karma phalam. And if there was no karma phalam, there would be no universe to be created. Right. So had this jiva, had all the jivas become jnanis, how? Through Atmajnanam. And once you become a jnani, you are not a karta, and therefore you will never become bhokta. But because of kartritvam, he becomes a bhokta, and because he is a bhokta, he does more karma, because he wants more bhogyam, and therefore he keeps on in this cycle of samsara. Right? Having discussed that, the Upanishad gives the phalam for the fourfold annam. So, what are the phalams? There are two benefits, Ihaloka and Paraloka, which you all know. So, in Ihaloka, it says that, Shruti says that he will get plenty of annam. In this world, he will get plenty of annam, and therefore he will not face any shortage of food in this janma, in this lokam. In this janma, in this lokam, very clear, okay? Ihaloka phalam means in this birth, in this world. And therefore, urjvam upajivati iti. He will live long, he will eat well, and he will live long, he will be healthy. That is the Ihaloka phalam. What is the Paraloka phalam? He goes to Devaloka. He goes to Swargaloka, right? With this, the four annams are over. So what is being said? Only when you gain the knowledge of Vedanta, understand that you are a jnani, then only the kartritvam will stop. The doership will stop. And when doership stops, there will be no karma. There is no karma, there is no karma phalam, there is no bhogya prapancha. Therefore, you will get moksha. And Shankara makes another point here. In the previous Brahmana, we saw, in the fourth Brahmana, Jiva was bhogyam and the world was the bhokta. Jiva was the object of experience. The experiencer was the world. But in this Brahmana, Jiva is the bhokta and the world is the bhogyam. Right? To understand that, take a family. From the husband's point of view, the wife is the bhogyam, husband is the bhokta. Right? But from the wife's point of view, she is the bhokta and the husband is the bhogyam. Right? From the parents' point of view, children are the bhogyam. From the children's point of view, parents are the bhogyam. So Shankara's point is that the bhogya bhoktri sambandha, the relationship of the, let us say, experiencer and experienced is always mutually interdependent. The important word, interdependence. It's not a one-way dependence like we have for, let's say, Brahman and Maya. Maya is dependent upon Brahman, but the reverse dependence is not there. Right? Therefore, since it is mutually interdependent, he says everything, every vastu can be called either bhokta or bhogyam, depending on what is your standpoint. And something which can be called this or that is ultimately not definable. What is the word for not definable?
Maya.
Anirviyachaniyam.
Anirvachaniya.
Anirvachaniyam.
Vachaniya.
And since everything is anirvachaniyam, everything is ultimately only mithya. A very nice point that Shankara makes in his commentary. That ultimately, if you look at it, everything is either bhokta or bhogyam. And if you reverse your viewpoint, the reverse becomes true. Like I gave the example, husband, wife, parents, children, all that, right? So really speaking, there can be no definition. Because any definition can be challenged by the contrary definition. And therefore, it really cannot be defined. It is anirvachaniyam. And the very definition of mithya is anirvachaniyam only. Therefore, everything which you can think of, any observable, experienceable entity in this universe, it is nothing but anirvachaniyam. It is nothing but mithya. Okay. Any questions? Has it been too much? I hope not. Because we have
No,
got...
Acharya.
Okay.
We need to listen again. Otherwise, it's quite
You
clear
need to
what
read,
you
you
have
need to make
explained.
notes.
Yeah.
And luckily for
You
us,
have
Arunaji is
explained.
presenting some very smart notes before every
Yes.
class.
Yes.
So please do go through all that, and then you'll be fresh when you come to the next class. And let me remind you, this is only the beginning. It's going to get more and more deep as we go along. So this will stop for the day. Thank you for your patience. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnamadaya
Purnamevavasishyate
Purnamevavasishyate.
Shanti
Om
Shanti
Shanti Shanti
Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Sharaji.